Hurricanes. One of the most dangerous natural disasters everyday Americans face. But when we think of the destruction that they bring, we typically think of wind or water damage.
There's the tree that has fallen over the guy's house.
We forget one of the most severe impacts a hurricane can bring that can affect a region for years to come: coastal erosion. It's something Scooter Trosclair, the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge Manager in Cameron Parish, Louisiana, says he sees every day.
Just in the short period of time of me being involved here since 1990 at Rockefeller, we've lost 3,600 feet of shoreline, which is incredible. If you think of the 3,600 feet of land, if it still existed as a hurricane moves inland, that land is going to reduce the power of that storm to where the communities further north, instead of experiencing 130 miles an hour, they may just experience a 90-mile-an-hour wind, which makes a huge difference.
Southwest Louisiana knows this issue all too well. That's why the region is in desperate need for federal aid to protect its coastline from future storms. While bills like this have come up before, it's desperately needed now. Something brought to light in a disastrous way during 2020. In August of 2020, Category 4 Hurricane Laura made landfall in Cameron Parish. Laura brought devastation not seen in Southwest Louisiana for decades, but there is one saving grace. Butch Guidry is a parish leader in Cameron, and he says while what we saw is catastrophic, it could have been beyond our imagination.
Had the eye of this storm shifted 10 miles further to the west, Lake Charles would have suffered catastrophic flooding. It would have been terrible, the damage that it had from the flooding.
Well, the areas further inland missed the storm surge. All is not well.
Laura did a total of $19 billion in damages, and even though it's been over 2 years since the storm struck the region, areas below the intercoastal line in Cameron Parish are still on generated power, meaning no electricity for entire communities.
Despite the hurdles, progress is being made. The Just Imagine SWLA project, founded by everyday people in the community, has already begun efforts to increase coastal protection.
These levees will keep coastal erosion from washing away the rest of our parish and going on in and destroying the southern end of Calcasieu Parish.
We see things slip away slowly, and before you know it, it's all gone. We haven't lost it. We haven't lost it. We can stop this process.
A coastal protection and restoration bill would certainly face the issue of funding. We hear it from the Senate and House floor every time big bills are presented.
There's a $1 trillion wish list out there for everybody. Everybody wants something, and somebody says, oh, there's money in the Treasury. Guess what? There's not. There's a big hole, a big black hole in the Treasury.
I discussed the challenge of funding with Bart Yakovzak of the Just Imagine SWLA project.
When considering where to spend money, too often Congress considers spending it only where there's a high population base. And so if we just consider protecting that area because there are so few people there, then Congress will never see the value in protecting it.
Why should we spend more and more money on a parish that few people live in and has been wiped out by numerous storms in the past? Well, protecting our coastline and Cameron Parish may be more important than you think, not just for Louisiana, but for our global community.
Cameron Parish is going to always be your first line of defense against the coastal erosion and what will happen if we don't do something about it.
We're also protecting communities, but we're protecting industry, not just for Southwest Louisiana, but this is for the globe. This is a world economy that's generated right here in our Southwest Louisiana region. But if we continue to lose these lands and we're continue to be threatened by saltwater intrusion and so forth, it could jeopardize so much. If we can just receive the funding for some of these projects, we can make a world of difference in order to maintain a lot of the coastal landscape, which protects the communities further inland from some of these major hurricanes.
Southwest Louisiana is home to a multi-billion-dollar liquefied natural gas industry. In fact, the American press states that Calcasieu and Cameron parishes are exporting more LNG than anywhere else in the world as of 2022.
From right here in Hackberry, Louisiana, you will very soon be exporting clean American natural gas all over the globe. With the incredible grit, skill, and pride, the 7,000 workers at this facility are helping lead the American energy revolution.
Cameron Parish alone is now the world's leader in LNG, liquefied natural gas export. And without Cameron Parish, without that coastline protected, that industry, that participation in the global economy will disappear.
With strong and intense hurricanes becoming more and more common, it's now more important than ever to protect our coast, to save our region and a global economy from disaster.
We're going to keep pursuing this. We will build these levees. We will have these pumps, these weirs, these water control structures. It's coming. We got to do it. We got to save our parish.
If we do not do anything in order to protect our way of life, our cultures, it could all fade away very quickly.